yesterday it was announced that Pusha T was putting out Neck and Wrist, the record with him featuring Jay-Z that is going to be on Pusha T's new album. And obviously the internet was going crazy because they've been talking about this Jay-Z feature on Pusha T's album, I want to say for the past 3 weeks. Oh, I think one of the notable parts is it was saying it was produced by Pharrell. I thought that was the part that I wasn't really expecting. And so when I heard that it was produced by Pharrell, I'm like, okay, well, my expectations aren't Drug Dealer Anonymous anymore. I'm thinking something else. And I'm not totally shocked by what I got. I like what I got. I like the song.
So it almost seems like, though, the purpose Pharrell played was to make sure that it wasn't Drug Dealers Anonymous. Like, that's what I was telling you behind the scenes. It's like, oh, well, this is where he's talking to Push about, oh, well, I don't want you to be a mixtape rapper.
Yeah.
This is that moment where it's like, oh, well, we got Jay on another record again. Is it just going to go by the wayside and end up on mixtapes a la Drug Dealers Anonymous? And so Pharrell is there to make sure that this song doesn't go that route. But what I would submit to you is that it doesn't go a better route necessarily.
I think what's off-putting about this song, because again, I think it's a good song. I like the song. Yes. But we got like two of the top lyricists, period, ever, in Pusha T and obviously the incredible, iconic Jay-Z. And they're not really rapping on here. You know, the lyrics are there, but it's just kind of like you can tell that, like you said, this is more for the radio, and this is going to be a single. So we're not going to go bar heavy like, Drug Dealers Anonymous.
Right, we're going visual aid on this one.
I do think that where Jay-Z took it and the things that he was talking about on here were very interesting. Some people on our Twitter, they pointed out that you and I had a discussion. I want to say it was when we were talking about the anniversary of Life After Death, the 25th anniversary of Life After Death. I'm not sure exactly what episode, but, shout out to, everybody that subscribes to this channel and follows us on Twitter and wherever you're hearing this podcast. But you guys picked the direct clip out where I asked about the notion that Jay wouldn't be where he is right now if Big were here. And he addressed that directly on this record. Let me go to the actual quote. And again, the part that makes this interesting, and I don't know who, I'm glad everybody's out here listening and enjoying these conversations because these are conversations that are had in barbershops all the time. Mm-hmm. But this is a notion that's been out there for the past 20 years, if not more. And it's interesting that Jay, is addressing this now. But here's the quote in question. They like, if Big was alive, Hov wouldn't be in his position. If Big had survived, y'all would have got the commission. Hov was gonna always be Hov. It was the universe. Well, because Allah said so. And now I'm here. Listen, man, I will personally say, and I never said that I didn't think Jay would have made it. Big was not here. But I have said, and I always stand on this, the lane that Jay took on was a lane that Big made up. And so if Big did live, that lane that Jay was going to take on would have had to be different. And that's just what it is. I do think that a person with his skill set would have found a way to break through. But again, we're talking about an MC who was rumored to be about retired after the first album, right? These are facts, right? Like, these ain't stuff that we're just making up.
These are facts.
So we're not going to sit here and have revisionist history and try to change the narrative up. Reasonable Doubt was supposed to be his first and last album, right?
Well, that's because, let's stop right there, and then we're going to move backwards a little bit. The rationale for thinking that way is that, when Reasonable Doubt came out, he was, 26, 27 years old?
Right.
Most rappers are getting their deals when they're 17, 18, 19, and their careers are done by the time they're 26, 27. That's the way the rap climate used to move. So part of his wanting to be out, that hustler mentality of knowing it's like, oh, well, I'm about to be too old to kick this shit to these dudes anyway. Because that's usually how the game went. Now, big passing, left and opening. And I want to address all that in a minute. But I think there are also some things just fundamentally about this song that need to be addressed. And we need to talk about Pusha for a minute. Can we?
Go ahead.
Well, one thing that you'll see, and this is one of the reasons why I like Pusha T so much. How many guys are comfortable calling Jay and continually going first and leaving room for Jay to just think and talk? Like, how dope are you that you're comfortable enough to call Jay on a couple of occasions, or how many other records they got, and clearly, and this is what I mean, like, he's feeding Jay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you look at Jay on both times, he's playing off what Pusha's doing. He's like, oh, this is where you want me to take it? Okay, I got you. Let me come close this for you. How many guys are great enough that they don't mind leaving that out there like that? You know what I'm saying? Because this is still competitive sport. And so, like, Pusha's confidence is always there, and it shows in moments like this where he performs with a Titan like this because he don't mind continually going first and feeding. Because what you'll notice is that Jay's cadence is what? It's the cadence Pusha T kind of started off with. And they were probably, if they did this together, they were probably deconstructing or figuring out together how, like rhythmically, because like this is more to their vocal cords than this is to their lyricism. You know, they're musically trying to do something with their delivery, with their cadence, and with their voices more than they're trying to emphasize their lyricism.
I think they're trying to, yeah, I agree with you. I think they're trying to make a song more than, you know, trying to spit.
Yes. The musicality in what your voice can do as an MC, they're trying to let those things show necessarily more than the bars, because in both of their minds, their confidence is such, well, we got the bars covered. Let's try to do something exciting.
Well, I think that's Pharrell orchestrating, honestly. To be
yeah. I mean, yeah. You know, somebody got to be coaching from the side of the ball court.
And I think that he's the perfect person to coach the two of these MCs. This is the first song that the three of them have made together, right?
Which is crazy because he has special relationships with both of them.
Yeah. So it's a special moment in that light. Were you going to speak to the lane? Or do you want to get back to that, or you want to talk about...
So let's speak to the lane.
Okay.
When he talks about what we would have got is the commission, it's like, yeah, like you're right. Like we would have gotten the commission. This is what I mean about how he's such a great hustler. Like, we would have gotten the commission. It's like, yeah, let's talk about who you would have been in the commission.
Exactly.
Because you want to know who he would have been in the commission, Mike? He would have been Beanie Siegel. Right.
That's respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Because Beanie Siegel's great.
You know how I feel about Beans. Ain't nothing wrong with being Beans, but how's he going to feel about being Beans? Because Beans is the type of dude that didn't mind being Beans. How you going to feel being Beans? Because you were not walking into that group with any sort of totality of notoriety over that guy. Because nobody in rap at the time was, because Tupac was dead.
Well, even in that situation, right, let's just say the commission comes after Life After Death. And again, all of this is just hypotheticals, but just let's follow our ears and everything that Biggie was able to accomplish on Life After Death sonically. Jay wasn't there. He wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if we listen to Volume 1, and as much as we love Volume 1, I don't even have any evidence that any of Volume 1 was recorded before Big died. Because Volume 1 came out November of 97. And we know how fast Jay puts out product or puts together records. It's not a far cry to say that he might not have had anything from Volume 1 recorded when Biggie passed. Maybe one or two songs, who knows? But the only full length that we have when it comes to what he was able to do when Big was alive was Reasonable Doubt, which is a great effort. But it's not what Big was doing on Life After Death, the versatility, and it's not what Jay ended up doing to reach the level that he reached.
So let's stop for a second, and this is what I mean. So let's talk about the level that Big reached right quick. And this is what I mean about the revisionist history of it and why I'm saying, well, will you be Beanie Siegel in this? It's like, Mike, since Big's been gone, Has Jay made any hits that you think are better than Big's 5 best hits that Big dropped before he died? 5, Mike. I can name you 5 Biggie records before Big left this earth, and Jay is yet to top those records in terms of stature, quality, or hit making.
What records are you speaking on? Because the first one that comes to mind is One More Chance remix.
Well, that's easy, Mike. But I mean, Mike, really, to be truthful, has he made a hit record better than Juicy? Has he made a hit record better than More Money, More Problems? Better than Hypnotized? Where are the records that are better than these records? Like better.
I'm
like,
not, I'm not a big fan of More Money, More Problems and Hypnotized like that. But I understand where you're coming from.
Mike, B.I.G., P.O., P.P.A., No Info. Mike, you can play that shit in the club right now. Everybody shouts it.
What about Get Money?
What
about Get Money?
No, Mike, that's what I'm saying. Where do you want to go with it? Like, how many of them? You got like 10 or 12 of them, in my opinion, that's better than like Jay's best hit record, in my opinion. And so when he's talking about this lane that he filled, it's like, well, yeah, you filled the lane best, but like, don't think that there's not a gap between you and the guy whose lane got filled. Because I told you, I love Volume 1, and it got nothing to do with no hits, Mike. The hits are the worst part of the album. I told you, take those 4 records off. Like, take those 3 singles off and Lucky Me off, and you have something that's actually, like, lyrically better than Reasonable Doubt.
Ray Reynolds with the super chat, he said, I've heard various versions, but I'm going to ask the experts. Was the commission supposed to be comprised of Biggie, Jay-Z, Big L, and Cameron?
No, I believe Charlie Baltimore was supposed to be part of the commission. Correct me if I'm wrong?
Yes. I don't know about Big L.
So I always thought that it was like Big J, Charlie Baltimore, and like I didn't know where like Cameron, because Cam was around at the time. I think people forget that.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat, let us know who was supposed to be in the commission. I'm sure everybody's gonna have some of their own variations, and we'll see. Because I know Jay-Z watched the show. I know Leroy Green's actually in the chat right now, so somebody with some inside information, let us know specifically who was in the commission.
How does What's Beef start off? The commission, Uncle Paulie, P. Diddy, Cesareo De Janeiro, Charlie Baltimore, Iceberg Slim, that's Jay.
Yeah.
Iceberg Slim, that's Jay. So Charlie Baltimore. So Lil C's, Iceberg Slim is Jay, Charlie Baltimore. The most shady Frankie Baby, we know who that is. So it sounds like, so that we know of from what Big is saying on record, we got Big, C's, Charlie Baltimore, Ho.
Yeah.
And who's Uncle Paulie? That's P. Diddy. I guess he's calling P. Diddy Uncle Paulie. Because that's how the beat starts off. Uncle Paulie, P. Diddy. That would make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that was supposed to, so Diddy was going to, I guess, manage the group. And it was going to be those 4. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well.
Just going off the intro to What's Beef.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I've never heard the Big L thing. And with Big L being a part of Columbia, and I don't know, I just don't see that. I think that we kind of attach that narrative that, Jay-Z was going to sign Big L supposedly before he was murdered, and the whole, Stretch Armstrong freestyle back in the day, because we kind of connect them together. But yeah, I don't think that Big L was supposed to be in the commission. I've never heard that.
Yeah, I never heard that either.
There's more. 88 Gray says Frank White, Iceberg Slim, Charlie Baltimore, and Puff.
Okay.
Listen, I wasn't a huge fan of Hypnotized like that, or More Money, More Problems, and that way I do think Jay-Z has stronger singles than those. But I'm with you when it comes to Juicy and One More Chance remix.
Let's stop for a second.
Maybe even Big Papa to a degree, Get Money.
Hold on, I want to stop for a second. What song is Jay taking on where he's better than Big is on Hypnotized? Like where?
You don't think Give It To Me?
No. He's literally starting off the song borrowing some of Biggie's bars. How can you say that? How can you say that? And how about this? And no bars on that song, and nothing on there is as charismatic as Big is on the 3rd verse of Hypnotized.
What about the Rock Boys?
No, Mike, I know you sick of this lame brand nigga with flows. Girls say he's sweet like licorice. So get with this, nigga. It's easy. Girlfriend, here's a pen. Call me round 10. Come through. Have sex on rugs that's Persian. Come up to your job, hit you while you're working for certain. Papa freaking, not speaking. Leave that ass leaking like rapper demos. Stop
Leroy's
that.
going crazy in the chat. He says,
Somebody
Otis,
asked
no
Leroy.
church in the wild. I mean, Jay got singles, man, where he's spitting. I will
Did
say
you
that.
say
But
no
this is what I
church in
will
the
say about
wild?
Jay. My favorite Jay records are the ones that, weren't singles. And I see You Don't Know, because
I'm
the
talking about
black
the lane
line
of them.
says You Don't Know is smoking hypnotized, but You Don't Know is not really a single.
That's why I said single, because we're talking about the lane. Y'all keep talking about these records. First of all, if you want to start playing Biggie Street records to J Street records, good luck.
Hard
You're
Knock
gonna
Life.
lose. Mike,
Money
Hard Knock
Cash
Life's not
Hoes.
better. This is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Hard
Okay.
Knock Life.
No, you know what? Let's go down the line. We're talking about singles, right?
Right.
So we're going to start at volume 1. The Streets Is Mine. Who You With? Sunshine. Those are the singles on volume 1.
No. Let's start with no. Man, Biggie got so many hits in such a short amount of time. That's fine. Let's go down to J singles. That's right.
Yeah, let's go down to J singles. I think that's fair. So we'll do Sunshine. City is Mine.
Next.
Who You With?
Get all that made out. Get all that out.
Okay, and then on volume 2 we got Hard Knock Life, right?
So hold on. So let's stop for a second. Any of y'all do anybody think that Nigga What Nigga Who, Money Cash Hoes, or Hard Knock Life's better than Hypnotize and More Money More Problems? Like, who thinks that? Who out here thinks that?
Kenneth Palmer with the super chat says that Nas claims on the documentary that Big and himself was also gonna make a super group. Have you heard that? Was that the commission as well?
No, there was a night where Nas and Big freestyled together all night. And there was a night, I think they were supposed to have a recording session the night Give Me the Loot got made.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard about a couple of ciphers that they've had where them two were just rapping back and forth and talking about doing stuff, but I've never heard about actual group stuff. But I mean, Nas even kind of addressed that, like on Last Real Nigga Live. Like, Puff used to come through Queensbridge projects. He let me drive it before it. So he was kicking it with them. So I'm like, that's how kind of like the circuit worked. Like, he was cool with Method Man.
Nas was the guy.
Huh?
He was the guy. He was
right.
the best new rapper coming up, man. So everybody was trying to
everybody
be
wanted,
cool.
Everybody wanted, right.
Billy Barr says that I'm not a writer, I'm a biter. Okay, so we're on volume 2 now, right? So the singles there, you got Hard Knock Life. Right. You got Money Cash Hoes. Money Ain't a Thing. Nigga What, Nigga Who, and you got song with Ja Rule in the Mill.
Can I Get It?
Can I Get It?
So let's look at these
I don't
records.
think any of those surpassed any of those Biggie songs we were talking about.
No, they didn't, Mike. But what I'm trying to keep talking
about...
on
a classic meter. Like, I personally like Nigga What, Nigga Who more than I like Hypnotized and Money More Problems, but I can't say on an all-time level.
Right. How about this? I personally may like some of the stuff Jay is saying on Nigga What, Nigga Who, the last couple verses, more than I may want to hear Hypnotized, but it's not a better record, and it hasn't held up over time better.
Someone said Who You With beats Hypnotized. I never been a big fan of Who You With.
I love Who You With, but you're tripping.
Okay, and so volume 3, the singles there were Do It Again, Big Pimpin'.
Yeah.
Right?
Things That You Do, Mariah Carey.
That was a single? I guess I'm thinking about songs that had videos to
them. No, those were the only two that had videos.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So
okay.
No.
And then to the Dynasty, you got Give It To Me.
We just went through that whole thing.
And then you got...
How that song start off again? How his biggest hit single start off again?
When the Remy's in the System.
It's some shit from Life After Death. That's how his biggest hit single starts.
And then after that, you got the R. Kelly joint, Jigga Kelly Not Guilty. Was there another single that I'm missing from the Dynasty? Because all of this is off the top,
Guilty's to Proven Innocent. No, those were the two. You're right.
Okay, all right. And so then you go to the Blueprint. The singles there are Izzo, Girls, 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 and Song Cry. Great songs. But I don't know, like, on an all-time meter if it hits that. The Blueprint 2, you got Excuse Me Miss, Bonnie and Clyde, 03, or 02, sorry.
Can we just stop right here and spare him? Where we going? We're going to Change Clothes? Let's go to Change Clothes.
Then we're going to go to Change Clothes, 99 Problems.
I personally probably enjoy 99 Problems more than Hypnotized, but what's the more classic record, Mike? What record gets played more? And what's actually the better record? That's why I keep on saying it's like he didn't pass him at any point when he filled the lane. So when he speaks about how he's filled the lane so admirably, it's like, no, like that dude left and you never made a song bigger. Not one.
Dirt Off Your Shoulders is also a single on there.
I love it. How is it held up in relationship to Hypnotize and More Money, More Problems? Listen to the records that we talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
And like I said, I don't even really love More Money, More Problems and Hypnotize like that. Now, if we're talking about Juicy and One More Chance, it ain't even close.
How about this? Let's not disrespect Jay and compare his records to Juicy, One More Chance. And you get what I'm saying? Because it's like we're not even close to that shit. Like, let's not even do that. Let's keep it like at Hypnotize and More Money, More Problems.
TJ with the super chat, shout out to you. He says Cameron got a 7-minute compilation, Getting in Jay, where he stole a whole bunch of lyrics from other artists. Look it up on YouTube. It's all facts. And that's one thing. But I will say this: there's a lot of people that took a lot of bars from Jay too. So, but it is what it is. I think this is the thing. Jay has this incredible memory, and he can hear something one time and regurgitate it right back at you. And I think that a lot of that stuff that he was quote unquote taking, he was just flexing that skill that he has in that way. But if you do that enough, it's nearly impossible for you to surpass the person that you keep doing that from.
Right.
And that's the difference between him and Nas in that way, because Nas never had to do that.
No, I mean, he's taken a couple bars from Rakim. Nas took a couple bars from Rakim.
Yeah.
But they were also like the type of bars that you had to go dig and find out. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't when the Remy's in the system. Like when you heard When the Remy's in the System on Give It to Me, it's like
Mike, oh, here we go.
We all knew where it came from. Mike, when I heard Face Off, this goes out to my Brooklyn crew. I'm like, wasn't that what Big was saying at the beginning of the Nasty Boy? I'm like, wasn't that Big at the beginning?
Just a couple months ago.
It was all good just a week ago, Mike.
Shout out to Sister 30 with the super chat. He said Busta Rhymes was also a part of the commission. Never heard that.
Hold on. You want to know what?
Could be true. I've never heard it, though.
How does Big 3 start off?
Big 3.
No. Big 3. How's Biggie versus the commission? You asked for permission to hit him?
It does start off that way.
Yeah, and Busta Rhymes is right there, right?
Yeah, Busta Rhymes is giving the hook that only Busta can give.
That was the last verse, right? That's one of the best hooks ever, too.
It is. It's fucking incredible, man. It's fucking incredible. Okay, so
it's a movie. He made it a movie. Busta made it a movie.
He did.
Busta made it a movie. Yeah.
The character, the voice, the inflection. Okay, so now we're on Kingdom Come because I don't want to slight anything, right? So we got the Show Me What You Got. Show Me What You Got. And you got Lost Ones. What's the other single on Kingdom Come?
You got 3 singles out of that?
I don't think so.
Right, next.
Then you got American Gangster, which I love.
I love Rock Boys.
I love Rock Boys. One of my favorite singles from them.
I Know too, because I believe they released I Know as a single, even though I don't know if they caught a video.
Yeah, they got a video for that.
Oh, really? You know, I've never seen that video to this day.
I feel like they have a video for it.
That's one of my favorite J records, actually.
Blue Magic. I love that video.
I do not like Blue Magic.
I like Blue Magic.
I don't.
Okay. So, yeah, none of those are those big records.
But once again, Mike, listen to the songs that you're talking about while I'm talking about Hypnotize and More Money, More Problems.
And somebody just mentioned Gin and Juice in the chat. Yeah, those are monster records.
Those are the type of records Biggie was making when he died. How's that been going for Jay since Big's been gone? Because that's the lane that he fit.
I mean, we want to talk this lane conversation.
Right, no.
The Blueprint 3.
He want to talk this lane conversation like he's been disrespected. You haven't been disrespected. You're getting rated accurately by people you're not paying.
Well, this is the thing, man. It's like, I thought that Jay was on board with the notion that he was picking up where Big left off. Now that's a problem?
No,
like I said, no one's saying that Jay wouldn't be who he is if Big lived. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? They're both MCs. They both are competitive. But like you said, if we did get the commission, Big was the draw here. This wasn't This wasn't even a LeBron Dwayne Wade situation.
No, it was not that.
It wasn't.
Not that.
And I say that respectfully. This is more of
Beanie Siegel, gold rapper. He was a gold rapper when Life After Death got made.
Big was the draw.
Big was a draw. Ready
It
to
is
Die.
what it is.
1.5. One more chance. Platinum single.
No, this is what I will say.
Junior Mafia platinum. I think maybe double platinum Junior Mafia was. Big is literally making platinum and gold singles every time he's touching the mic, literally.
This is what I will say though. I think Jay is talented enough, or always has been talented enough and smart enough where he would have found his lane, but the lane would have just been different.
No, Mike, he did find the lane. That's the guy. That's what I'm talking about. That's why, Mike, I love 97 Hove. There's nothing wrong with that lane. The guy that's making You Must Love Me, and Where I'm From, and Streets is Watching, and Imaginary Player.
Yeah.
And Rhyme No More, and A Million and One. There's in Friend or 498. There ain't nothing wrong with that guy.
No,
there's nothing wrong with that guy.
But you know, let's be honest though. Let's be totally honest, Coop.
No,
that guy. No. Let's be honest. That guy's not getting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with those records.
Mike, I don't know about that because that guy.
Nas ain't in it.
No. That guy, 97 Hove. 97 Hove right now, if he pops back up, is literally better than everybody else except for this version of Nas.
No, I'm not talking about better. I'm talking about notoriety. I'm talking about.
No. I get
that's what I'm talking about. The skills are always there, and that's why he will even admit Reasonable Doubt is still his best album, and it was the least numerically successful. You know what I'm saying? It's not about that. We know his skills are there, but we're talking about the crossover success. And what led to those things, and that wide open lane. I mean, it helped that part of it. Like you said, Big was going gold and platinum every time he spit on the mic, effortlessly.
Pretty much, if he spit on the mic, everything he pretty much put down from the time he died, if it got released, it went gold or platinum. Like as a single, like the albums were going gold and platinum too. Like the singles were going gold and platinum.
And I can see how that sounds like a slight, but the thing is.
It ain't no slight. Big was about to be the greatest MC of all time had he lived. You were in the room with the greatest MC of all time. Had Big lived, Big was going to be number one.
I think so. But you have people like Nas who were already in their stride and making some of the best material of their career while Big was here. Nas had his lane already.
Right. So that's why, Mike, when I tell people I have Jay-Z as the 5th greatest MC of all time, well, that's why, because I watched that happen, and I am very clear that when Tupac was here, and Biggie was here, and Nas and Jay were both outside, Biggie and Pac didn't look at Jay like he was the problem. They looked at Nas like he was the problem because he was, and that holds, and that held when Jay made his best album. Jay made his best album while they were alive, and their thought was, need to worry about this nigga Nas. And so when I have him 5th, I have him 5th because of that. Objectively, if you want to just go objectively, it's Nas number 1, Jay-Z number 2. But on my list, he's number 5 because I'm not putting you ahead of Pac and Big and Nas ever. Because when all of y'all was outside making y'all best material, you were 4th.
CJ Duncan says Big Pimpin' is far better than More Money, More Problems. I'm not mad at that assessment on a personal level, but is it more classic?
That's what I keep trying to tell you.
And even if it is, let's just say it is. Put that up against One More Chance remix, and then put that up against Juicy.
Put it up against Big Papa, Mike. You can put it up against Big Papa. You can put it up against Good Money, Get Money.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest, man. Get Money and Big Papa.
For God's sake, like it ain't like that. That's what I'm saying. That's why I be trying to tell people. It's like these J records that y'all are saying that are classic hit records. They were hits when they came out. Biggie shit. It was a hit when it came out, a hit 10 years later. It's a hit now, Mike. You might randomly hear More Money, More Problems on a mix on the radio.
Big Papa and Get Money are better than Big Pimpin'.
Mike. That's what I'm saying. Some of these records, it's not even a conversation. That's why I'm willing to just do Hypnotize and More Money, More Problems, to be fair.
Bryce with the super chat says, Born Again would have been volume 1 had Biggie lived. All right. So, this is where I was going to go too, man. Because again, this is not a slight. It's just what it is.
It's just the fact. Like I said, you ain't paying us, so it's like, yeah, the narrative be a little different when you don't pay motherfuckers.
I mean,
and buy this coverage. No, Mike, for real.
you know what it
like,
reminds me of, though? It
you
reminds.
don't buy this coverage. You feel slighted, but it's like, yeah, but you can't buy everybody every year that goes by. So eventually, people are gonna walk up, and pop up, and start telling the truth about how it happened. You was Beanie Siegel.
Well, at the end of the day, man, we speak to the people, and the people speak to us, even on our lives. So we have to be honest on this microphone. And this kind of reminds me of when you think about Shaquille O'Neal, right? When Shaq dominated, it's when all the great centers of that era were no longer playing. Is that fair to say? Hakeem was gone. David Robinson was gone. Patrick Ewing was gone.
It's very fair.
It's just facts. And, and when Jay had his run, the ones that were in his class that were running shit weren't there anymore. And the only person left was Nas. And, we talked about last week the whole I Am situation.
Right.
He struck at the weakest point, and this is when the run happened. And that's just the truth of the matter.
Hold on. And it's not like this isn't documented.
It's documented. And we're just talking about it. We're regurgitating it.
Why? Nas is talking about when all this is going on, Jay tried to sneak attack, assassinate my character, degrade my hood. Like, Nas told you that this was going on. He's pretty much saying, like, no, it was us three. This dude popped up. My shit got bootlegged. They got murdered. That's how he got there. Because that's how it really happened.
And his mom had passed away.
No. Let's keep it to the music. Big and Pop got murdered, and Nas suffered the biggest bootleg in like hip hop history. That's how Jay got in his position. That's how all of this happened. So when we would have got the commission, right? We would have got the commission. You were Beanie Siegel in the commission. Don't you ever forget that. And so don't ever like mistake that or try to play it differently. Yo, was Nas ever AZ in the firm, or was AZ in the firm, Mike? You feel what I'm saying?
No, that's real. No, and I think that's a great comparison.
Was Pac ever part of the Outlaws, or was it Tupac and the Outlaws? You feel where I'm going with
I think that's a great comparison.
Number 5.
Billy Barr says, tell him, Coop. It goes Nas, Biggie, Pac for me. Look.
It goes Pac, Big for me, but whatever.
I think, you know what? I'll give you, that's a great point, man. When you talk about the firm and commission, right? Same shit, right? Nas is Nas, and as great as AZ is AZ in the firm. And that's exactly how the commission would have went.
Right. AZ is AZ in the firm. Like, you want to know what the critique on the Firm album was? It was like, Nas is the obvious headliner. It's just that AZ's out rapping him on the album. And it's like, well, who they say was the headliner, Mike?
AK's The Curtain says that Big would have probably ended up signing Jay. And, it's an interesting statement just based on what we've heard Big Gene Deal, former Bad Boy Security, say when he was saying that Big was getting all these big time offers from some of the majors for a distribution deal. So that's highly plausible. Who knows? But he definitely would have had the resources to do so.
Mike, he was going gold or platinum every time he was touching the mic and dropping a record. I don't think people understand.
And he was spitting on top of that.
He's spitting crazy, Mike. If he was dropping a record, it was going gold or platinum. I'm going to say that again. If he was dropping a record, it was going gold or platinum.
Chelsea says, Coop, what did Jay ever do to you? This is sad.
He didn't do nothing. It just needs to be some honesty, some clarity about the situation, because quite frankly, he has paid his way through a lot of this being covered properly. So we're going to cover it properly. And if he didn't pay for it, that's some bullshit too. Just like this whole we would have got the commission. You're right, we would have got the commission. Let's talk about your position in the commission.
Well, I think, man, the music speaks, right? And we just went down the line if we talk about the singles. And I've always been one of those Jay fans that I feel like his non-singles are his strongest material.
It is. That's why
big singles and his album songs, they were so even keeled that you can't even really, it just depends on what you like at that point. And again, when we talk about the lane and, Jay taking the lane that Big left wide open, those are based on the singles, right? Because clearly his approach to records, even after Reasonable Doubt, Puff Daddy is executive producing Volume 1. Why is that happening? It is what it is. It's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact of the matter that They understood, like, look, we're gonna keep this thing going for Brooklyn. I'm gonna pick up the slack. My man's gone. Like you said, my man died, and all I did was inherit his stress.
Where the Biggie verse at on Volume 1 too? Where the Biggie verse at? Like, you took the hooks. Where the verse? Couldn't get a big verse.
Well, I mean, there probably weren't even any left. I
It was
think
right
everything
there.
the Big recorded, Big recorded.
Oh, no, let me get this straight. Puff executive produced Volume 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were there for the making of Life After Death, right?
Yeah, I
You
love the
took two of the hooks. You took two of the hooks, Real Niggas, right? And
Yeah.
Face Off, right?
Right.
Where the big verse?
Well, you think that he wanted a big verse and didn't get it?
No, I'm just saying, like, where is it? It's a valid question, don't you think? Look at everything that's around the album. Is Lil Kim on the album? Puff executive producing the album? Are you around during Life After Death? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People be playing like they want that pressure. You see what I'm saying?
No, you're right. Shout out to Latoria B with the $20 super chat. She said, Coop speaking straight facts. Dude want to rewrite history. Reasonable Doubt didn't get 5 mics because it dropped where it was written. And the neck and wrist is a mediocre at best. Excuse me.
It's
If
not
this
mediocre.
is who Hove is now, I don't want no album. Stay home with the kids, Hove.
No, it's not mediocre. This is a dope ass verse, actually. The verse is dope, Mike.
Well, all right. Well, do you agree with the second part? Are you ready for a Jay-Z album? Are you anticipating a Jay-Z album based on this?
This makes me feel better about it. How about this? When I thought about this from the perspective of competition. So objectively speaking, you know, he's my number 2. Objectively speaking. Personally, he's number 5. Objectively, he's number 2 behind Nas.
Right.
So I say to myself, this is the first time that he's done something while Nas been on this run that Nas should put his pen down and look up and be like, oh, you're back? Are you rapping? You came back to work? Like, cool. Welcome to what outside looks like now. Like, that's what this verse was for me. So it's like, is it verse of the year? Like our cohorts on the Rap Roundtable are saying, no, I don't think it's that, but it's a dope-ass verse. And he is using his gifts well on this verse. Mike, the literary divisive, the connected, every word dependent upon each other that brilliant genius type writers know how to do. So the tools that he utilizes best are, most of them are in effect on this verse.
Mm-hmm.
And to that I would say, oh, well, you've been listening to us, so just say me and Mike's name since we done already made it.
Well, that's
to the
never
top of
gonna
the food
happen.
chain. No, nigga, since we done made it to the top of the food chain, just go ahead and say our name. But the verse is great, Mike. The verse is
I
great.
wouldn't say great. I like the phase on love slight.
I happen to be impressed by the verse. And here's what I mean about his literary devices is like, oh, well, you need to catch the entendres, the alliterations. Like he's in his bag.
Yeah.
He's in his writer bag.
Like the phase on love slight was, that was pretty good in there.
The Mike D and Coop slight was dope too. It's just off base, so we got to check that shit.
I don't know if he was talking to us specifically, but this
Who
is
else
what
be
I
talking
will
to
say.
him like this, Mike? That's what I'm saying. He done paid his way to so many things with everybody else. Who else could he be talking about?
Well, I think that when you reach where he is, right? And I know Andre 3000 has spoken about this before. When Outkast reached a certain height, he didn't feel they made music under the gun. They made music under the pressure where they had something to prove. At this point, Jay has nothing to prove, right? And there's no other outlets out there who are going to speak in the way that we speak. So maybe we are helping to reinvigorate that fire or being just listened to on that level. Maybe whatever we're saying is being taken in that way so he can have motivation to be hungry on a record. Because other than that, what does Jay have to be hungry about at this point? On the mic.
No. Here's what I will say to this. So, like I don't watch a lot of TV, but one of the shows I watch is Jalen and Jacoby. And I'm going to tell you something that I noticed when I watched their show. Did you see when they interviewed the Boston Celtics?
Nah, I missed that.
So they interviewed some of the Boston Celtics, and they asked them who the greatest rapper was of all time. And I think they interviewed 5 guys. The one white guy said Eminem.
Of course.
One guy who was definitely apparently younger and from down south said like Lil Yachty. And then like 2 guys said Jay-Z. And what I thought when I said, like, this is what I mean about, well, he's been controlling that narrative for so long that they're like 25-year-olds walking around calling him the greatest MC of all time, and they don't even know why. And truthfully, the evidence isn't all the way there like that, but the way he has controlled this narrative with the media. And don't tell me that he hasn't paid people and been in people's pockets, because he won't be the first and he won't be the last. He's just the best player at this game right here. You feel what I'm saying? He's the best player in this game. He's the best player on the chessboard, Mike. He's just not the best MC. That's what I keep saying. It's like, oh, if you're talking about the best player on the chessboard, oh, I'm going to give that crown to him every day and twice on Sunday. Where he had as an MC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
I think that, just the work that he put out in the time period that he did and just his incredible skills to, like I said, just come with the rhyme and just be versatile with it over an array of beats and work with different producers and have like a similar output and stay up with the times. He was king in that moment. But as he said, man, start off fast and you're wheezing in the back. And if we really sit here and look at what Nas has done in his totality and what Nas has done over the past 10 years, and when we start breaking that down, there's no way in the world I can put him ahead of Nas. I just can't. And just even looking at the core of what Nas met in the beginning and in the middle, and now we're looking at, I don't even want to say the end, but we're looking at this phase.
Looking at this.
It's, you're going to have to prove it at this point. I think what really made me really start digging in and really start looking is when Jay went out there and said no one can see him on that Versus stage. And I'm sitting here like, that's not true. And he knows that's not true because he's a real head. He knows that's not true. I think it started with Memphis Bleak said Nas doesn't have enough songs to go against Jay, but somehow Big does. And I was like, see, this is a false narrative now. And see, now we got to really look at this because anybody on a Versus level could be touched. Even Michael Jackson could get got by Prince, or who could possibly get got by Stevie. Anybody. To say that no one can see you, see, now that is out of line. And that's when we got to start looking in this stuff deeper.
See, that's exactly what I was about to say. You see, talking about Michael Jackson and Prince is exactly how Stevie come and fade both of them. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anybody can get touched out here.
Like respect. I know it's everybody.
Respectfully, Bob Marley could touch Stevie. You feel what I'm saying?
Respect all the other musicians and MCs out there, man, to try to carry this whole thing that you're just above all. And honestly, if we break it down, you're not above Nas. I think it's just not honest. You know what I mean?
Not. So let's go to this narrative that's been crafted. It's this narrative that's been crafted where it's just like, oh, well, he's the best MC of all time. And it's just clean and it's just clear. It's like, and I'm looking around like, when the fuck did that happen? Like, when did that happen? When did lyrically he surpass Nas or Rakim at any point? When hit-wise did he surpass Big? When content-wise did he surpass Tupac? Like, tell me when these things happened, and that's when he became the greatest MC of all time. Because guess what? Those things never happened. But if you want to talk about a run, Mike, and I told you this, the two best runs ever in rap in terms of reigns, Rakim's reign and Jay's reign in terms of how they are viewed. Those are the two. So he is viewed almost the way that Rakim is viewed. And Rakim, for all those people in that era, for a lot of people, greatest MC of all time. So I get the view. What I'm trying to tell you is I can show you 20 to 30 Rakim records with just Rakim on it. Just Rakim. There's evidence to that.
Well, no, let's be clear. And I will say this right here on this mic, since people seem to be watching our show. Jay-Z would lose to Kanye West in a Versus. It would not even be close, to be perfectly honest. And there's two things here.
You can't use Kanye tracks.
He wouldn't be able to. That's a loss in itself.
Good night to your catalog. Good night to a large portion of your dope ass catalog.
As soon as you play Niggas in Paris, as soon as you play Heart of the City, you lost.
Can't play no Ye.
And he ain't got to play your joints. And he got his own joints. so that whole notion that no one can sit across from me Kanye West would beat you handily And
Well,
that's
it's not
just,
even
and
that, Mike.
I say that respectfully because we got to respect everybody's career and the work that they put in. Kanye West would handily beat Jay-Z in a versus. I am going to say that again. Kanye West would handily beat Jay-Z in the verses because anything from 2000 on, you needed Kanye West's help.
Mike, all jokes aside, this is what I mean. I do not know right now today if he would beat Big in a versus. Big been gone since '97. Like, what you talking about? You the greatest MC of all time. Like, I don't know if you beat Big. I don't know if you beat Big. Because
It's
that's what I'm
close.
saying. Like because here's what I'm
Memphis
saying.
Bleak even said that though.
What Jay is great at is the lyrical street records. All right?
Yeah.
He ain't passed Big at that, and Big's a better hit maker, and he's got the better voice and the better delivery. Where you winning at? You gonna play Where I'm From, or You Must Love Me, or A Million and One? Guess what I'm gonna play? I'm gonna play Who Shot You. I'm gonna play 10 Crack Commandments. I'm gonna play Everyday Struggle. I'm gonna play Give Me the Loot. I'm gonna play Warning. You ain't winning shit over Big on either side.
What about
That's
Victory?
Why I tell people, huh?
Started off a Victory.
Mike, that's why I always tell people, lyrically, he is slightly better than Big. That is where that conversation ends. That's it. He's slightly better lyrically. When I mean slightly, I mean like,
Shout
and
out to
everything else is
Truist with
Big.
the super chat. Truist says Nas I Am got 5 good songs and 11 penalties.
Right. So let's get to some unrealistic people too. So no. So
Hold on, let me get to this other super chat real quick before you get to that. Hold that thought though. Adriel Green, excuse me, says Jay just swagging his way through these feature verses at this point. He used a style and delivery to pass off bars that are just decent. I could see that. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
These bars had a little bit more depth to them, like the sob comment and the soliloquy.
Oh yeah.
That's entendre and alliteration coupled at once in one bar, but the bars are separated on separate halves of the bars. That's top level writer shit. So don't discount it, okay? Because he's putting the alliteration and the entendre together in the format it's connected bar wise. But technically, Mike, that's actually half a bar from one side and half a bar from the other side. You're a supreme writer when you do that shit. That's what I'm saying was like, I'm not going to be disrespectful.
So what happens when Biggie plays the what?
Not a lot for Jay. Because what he got, that's what I'm saying.
What about
like,
you play Warning?
That's what I'm saying. Like, Big does everything, Mike. He got him everywhere except for lyrically slightly. And it's like, that doesn't hold up because Big is such a tough. Like,
Notorious Thugs.
That's where Big becomes Method Man to Jay, where it's like, well, listen to that voice and that delivery to go with those lyrics. Even if you are lyrically better, so what?
Yeah, because I do think Jay is lyrically better, but that's about it.
Mike, not just about it. That's it. He's not a better songwriter. He's not a better storyteller. He's not a better hit maker. He's not a better Mike. He still doesn't have one street record bigger than Who Shot You. That's why I'm saying it's like y'all want to go to the street record side of things.
I would say you don't know. I would say you don't know. Or public service announcement.
Those aren't better than Who Shot You, Mike.
I don't know, bro. I think I might go you don't know. And I love Who Shot You. I love Who Shot You. I think
Mike,
that Who Shot You is better than PSA, but
yes,
it's not better than You Don't Know.
Ooh, Mike, when you say that, I mean, you do understand that's the record that got Jay excited, right?
Yeah, I feel that, but You Don't Know is a monster.
Like Jay feels
I think You Don't Know is a top 3 Jay record.
No, that might be the J record. Like, if we're being objective, that might be the J record. Yeah. Okay, so understand this. Who Shot You is not the Biggie record, and I would tell you that Who Shot You still might be better than You Don't Know, and You Don't Know might be his best record. You understand what I'm talking about now when I'm saying that? Just the fact that we're comparing the two. Because when people bring up Biggie's best records, did Who Shot You ever land at number 1?
No.
Does
it's probably right outside the top 5, maybe.
Right, so it's probably considered a top 10 Biggie record. And that may be a realistic way to look at this.
I can see PSA being better than Who Shot You. I think they're very, very similar because they're both classics. And I think PSA is one of those records that you're always going to hear DJs drop. I think that if we talk about the longevity of records, You Don't Know and PSA have probably lasted longer than every J record. I would say that and Give It To Me. Those are probably
But here's what I would submit to you, Mike. When Who Shot You comes on, that's almost the equivalent. How about this, Mike? If we're going old school, that's the equivalent to when the Microphone Fiend beat drops, or in our time, when the Grinding beat drops. That's the record that an MC's metal is based off of, and it's because of Big's performance on that record. You don't know, and PSA don't have that. Where did the verses turn, Mike? When Kiss started rapping over the Who Shot You beat. That record's more important, and it's better.
Bob T says,
like, hold on, Mike. If Kiss start rapping over You Don't Know, it's not going down the same in terms of effect it has on the people, because Who Shot You is more important, and because it's a better record too.
I think that's a real decent point, honestly. Yeah, because if Kiss rhymes over You Don't Know, it's not the same.
Same effect. But it's Big rhyming over Who Shot You, Mike.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you gonna rhyme over that grimy Big shit? That's
and then
something
you got
different.
Puff yelling in the back and all that. Bob T says, Coop making Jay-Z look like Memphis Bleak out here in regards to
I'm making him look like Beanie Siegel out here. The way he made Beanie Siegel look. I'm making him look the way Beanie Siegel look. So I don't want to hear that. The way they're looking right now is the way he made Beanie Siegel look. I don't want to hear that.
Nas the GOAT says, don't believe the truest, Mike. He also said that Nas is not lyrical. And he did say that. And he said the rewind is garbage. Truist, you sounded like a troll out here. Rewind's garbage? All right.
He said a lot of stuff is garbage, though, Mike.
Okay. Sounds like Truist might be trolling us. Okay, one thing I'm going to get to before we get to this Nas and the Grammys, because we ain't even gotten to that. And I'm looking forward to talking about that. Do you think that Pusha T is going to be dropping his album on Friday?
Yeah.
This Friday?
Yes.
I think so, too. Because why put out a single on a Wednesday? A single like this is something they would have held into Friday.
Right. No. You dropping the single with Hov on Wednesday because the album's dropping on Friday, and you want everything. Go ahead.
You know what? If this is any indication of the album, my prediction, think it's going to be quality, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be Daytona. I think Daytona was just so hardcore and so seamless. I think this one's going to do more things sonically than Daytona. It might be more fulfilling to some listeners because the biggest knock on Daytona is its 7 songs. But I don't anticipate it being better than Daytona. But again, I like all the hardcore shit because you and I were talking offline. If this song was on Daytona, I think there's only one song that it would be definitively better than. And I don't even think based on the approach, I would have picked it to be on Daytona over Comeback Baby. Comeback Baby is probably the weakest song on Daytona, right?
Yeah, I think after our back and forth today, we came to the conclusion that Comeback Baby is the one time for your mind of Daytona.
Probably,
right?
Yeah.
Right. That's one time for your mind.
But the way he's spitting on there, I would have kept it on there, over this song.
So, Mike.
But I think the Comeback Baby is probably the only song that this song would have been, this song would have been better than. Go ahead.
So this is how dope Comeback Baby was. You know the first record that he actually previewed on Instagram, on his Instagram page about Daytona?
Was it Comeback Baby?
Comeback Baby.
Wow.
So think about what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how, I don't think people understand how great Daytona is sometimes. And it's not because I'm a Pusha T fan. It's like, no, Daytona's like that. Like I said, like when your weakest record is something like One Time for Your Mind or something like Comeback Baby, you probably got classic rap shit on your hand when that's your whack song. You know what I'm saying?
The like, good die young. All dogs go to heaven. Still got quotes on there.
Right. No, he's super quotable on there. He's spitting crazy on there.
I play Hollywood Squares with G Squares. Rick Flair before they was Rich Flair. Come on, man. Cocaine Concierge. Yeah. And that's the weakest song on the album. And then we said the Infrared's probably the second weakest.
Yes. So think about that. Because think about it, Mike. Is Infrared better than Hard Piano?
Hell no.
Is it better than Santeria?
No.
What would Meek do?
No.
If you know, you know.
No, it's not.
Mike, the Games We Play is your favorite record on Daytona, correct?
It's between that and Hard Piano. It goes back and forth. Games We Play is epic.
Well, think about it. Infrared is one of the most scathing disses ever. It's one of the worst songs on this album.
Well, that's what happens when you have 7 songs on an album, but yeah.
That's what happens when you're making a classic too, Mike.
It is what happens when you're making a classic. That whole I seen what you seen when you see Wayne on tour. Flash without the flyer. Another multi-platinum rapper trapping can't retire. Niggas get exposed. I see the cracks and I'm the liar. Shit, I've been exposed. I took the crack and built the wire. Now who do you admire? Yeah, that's the second weakest song on there.
All of my your rap songs are all trying my patience. Them numbers ain't real without inflation. Disrespectful.
Then a conduit. Yo, yeah. Somebody in the chat says infrared is lethal. Yes, it is.
Yes, no, infrared is lethal. That's how lethal Daytona is. It's like the 5th or 6th best song.
And infrared killed the biggest pop star in the game.
And that star hasn't been the same since infrared dropped.
I think that, yeah, Pusha T definitely put a dent in the run that Drake's having. And Drake is still going to do his numbers.
He need to be up all time for what he did to Drake. And I'm not saying that as a fan. I'm saying that because that's real.
Well, what about what he did to Wayne, though? Because, I mean, the Wayne diss, to me, was the strongest in there. And I think Drake jumped out there to defend Wayne, really.
Well, no. This is what I mean about context, about how people done put Drake ahead of Wayne. What did Nas say? Me and Frank White, it's like Cole, Kendrick, and Drizzy. So if that's where he's being held by somebody like Nas, well, he hasn't been that guy since Push dropped Infrared and Story of Adidon. So
that's real.
So that's real.
One's Bundy says, shout out to One's Bundy with the super chat, says, you can argue where I'm from against Who Shot You. Big's records were bigger because of the Pac beef. Not exactly, but I mean, you know, those are great records, though.
Who Shot You dropped before the Pac beef. I personally love Where I'm From. That's one of my favorite J records. I like Where I'm From better than PSA, not better than You Don't Know. And I'm going to tell you part of what's so memorable about that song is what he says. I'm from where niggas pull your card and argue all day about who the best MC is.
Who's the first name?
Z and Nas. What is the first name out of his mouth? Stop that.
It's true.
It's just facts. That's what I'm saying.
It's just true. We're not, again, man, and I think we got to
when you get to the facts and start spitting his shit, he tells you that Biggie's the greatest. Stop that.
And again, we got to respect history and we got to respect the life and the legacy of the great Notorious B.I.G. We would be remiss if we sat here and act like shit wasn't the way it was.
Mike, Biggie Smalls is the illest.
His style is played out. He created the lane. Let's keep it real. Like, I think that, you know what I'm saying, Pac and his approach to records warmed up that lane, but Big perfected that lane.
Pac started the lane. So how about this?
Biggie and Puff, I got to give Puff credit where credit's due too. Biggie and Puff perfected that lane.
Yeah, so how about this?
And it fucked up everybody else moving forward.
So here's how you got to look at it. Like hip-hop hit making for MCs in terms of balancing the hardcore and the single. Pac is like, there's dirt on the road, okay, before Pac arrives. Pac is the person that kind of puts like gravel and rocks down so it's easier to drive on and it doesn't kick up as much dust. Big and Puff came and put cement down. You feel what I'm saying? So you're going from dirt, from gravel to cement. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. The Truest with the super chat says, Push is rapping about fish sandwiches now. Who lost? I love the trolling by the Truest. That's hilarious.
He's rapping rather well about fish sandwiches. He's rapping rather well.
Yo, he gave that fish sandwich the business. Listen, man, I'm looking forward to talking about this album on Friday. I know we got to move on, but again, I think it's a dope record. I'm looking forward to possibly hearing a full-length Jay-Z album, and if this is what you need to give you the ammunition to put out some fire, you know, we'll keep speaking the truth.